ABC Wednesday, October 9th.
Y'all complain all day. We want books. We want paper towels in the classroom. Bet you want razors, too.
I'm still waiting on the paper towels.
Abbott Elementary returns with the new season.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead.
Critics cheer. Abbott Elementary continues to be one of the funniest and most beloved shows on TV.
What y'all doing out there?
Taking bribes.
Proud of y'all.
Abbott Elementary, season premiere Wednesday, October 9th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
I knew it. Another Hurrdat Media production.
Hey, Chantal.
Hey, Roxanne.
I apologize in advance if I sound weird. My one computer that is connected to my mic is not working, so we had to Wait, what is the word? Improvise.
Improvise.
I'm like, improvise. I don't even know what I just said. So I am sorry, but we're doing a little bit of a bonus episode because I feel like so much happened this weekend.
Oh, yeah, especially following that episode and Watch What Happens Live.
Yeah, well, so we recapped Orange County, and then we recapped it when Watch What Happens Live was going on. And we were nervous because Tamra was in it, remember, Chantal? And we were like, we hope Tamra doesn't say anything crazy. And I don't know about you. Did you expect Tamra to go into Watch What Happens Live with like her strong opinions?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So for me, I didn't expect her to do that because here's the thing. She's getting so much backlash. So you would think if you're getting that much backlash, you're going to tone it down a little bit. So I really thought she was going to go into it and she was going to be, I don't know, not what she did on Watch What Happens Live, at least.
No, I think she likes to spin the narrative. She likes to make it things like that are kosher and everything's good, like with her, and everything she's saying is accurate and like she's on top of it. Like that's what she likes to do, and like it's her chance to do that on Watch What Happens Live in front of everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, we didn't cover this, but she goes on Watch What Happens Live and she's asked about that segment where Ryan just says that Tamra likes to take out happiness from other people. You know, she's not happy in her life because, you know, if you were happy in your life, you wouldn't need to do that. Right. And so Andy had asked Tamra to respond to that. And it was so awkward. Go on our Instagram at All About TRH Podcast because we have the segment and apparently Bravo took it out of Watch What Happens Live, like on Peacock and stuff. And I didn't know you could watch What Happens Live on Peacock. Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Well,
it comes on after, like the next day, like just like how the other ones do.
So apparently, so she responds, not apparently, she responds and she's like, she's like, by the way, you know, Ryan, we sell more in a month with our businesses than you stole from the Dodgers player. And that's obviously a complete lie. He didn't steal anything from the Dodgers player. You know, he is in this, you know, his name was involved in this lawsuit that his best friend is the person of interest, basically. So his name was involved in it and he received immunity in return for a testimony. And that was it. So clearly he's not stealing, you know, and the lawsuit is up to $16 million. So is Tamra claiming right now that her business makes $16 million a month?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that's a wild thing to claim. So, you know, I mean, Tamra, she has a history of doing this, right?
Like, well, like, wait, real quick. I mean, I think what she was just trying to do is just make it, she just wanted to put the heat on him again and make it seem like he's not credible. He's a shady guy. Like, that's all she was trying to do. So, like, she thought that'd be like her funny little cute, like joke that she would make or whatever. That's just, again, just to put the heat off her.
But that's such a strong accusation.
She doesn't learn.
This man stole $16 million from someone. And that's such a crazy accusation. And, you know, he is someone who works. Like, that doesn't look good. I'm sure acquaintances see this. You know, people see this. That's a big accusation. She did the same thing about Jim Bellino's business. And look what happened to her there. So, and you know what? We actually just found out that Ryan is Armenian. Are we on crack? Like, were we the only ones who didn't know this?
I know, it was funny because like our cousin was like, yeah, the IAN didn't like tell you guys, and we're like, oh yeah, we're so dumb. Maybe we just weren't paying attention or realizing, you know.
I thought he was like just straight up American. Like, I don't know. I never thought he was Armenian, but maybe it's because like we don't we don't really see much about like his actual personal life. So I never thought that. And I mean, Armenian is very close to what we are, Chaldeans and stuff. So I
Yeah,
just thought that was so crazy.
and our reputation and like in most cultures, but like especially in our cultures, like we like die for our reputation. So like for that accusation, I'm sure that's like what even got him so much more bothered, because everyone is so close knit. So like the minute your name is ruined, it's ruined, and like you don't want that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like our husbands, if that happened to our husbands and this person's lying and then now saying that, our husband stole $16 million from someone, literally our husbands would be going off the rails. Like it
Yeah.
would be a huge, huge deal. So, following this happening, what happened over the weekend was Ryan actually hired the same attorney that Jim Bellino hired to serve Tamra with a cease and desist over the false allegations made against him. So basically, I think what the cease and desist said is like, you need to make it a public apology. You need to say that this is not true, that you were just saying that. And if you don't, we are filing a lawsuit, and then explains like what we are filing a lawsuit on, which is the same thing that Jim Bellino did, except Jim Bellino didn't even send a cease and desist. I think he just filed the lawsuit right away. So Ryan's being actually nice by not filing a lawsuit immediately. So he is just, here's your warning. Like, you went on Watch What Happens Live, you doubled down. Keep in mind, in the upcoming episodes also, Chantel, she's going to be going to a lunch with the ladies to discuss the Ryan case, and she's going to be wearing an FBI hat.
Oh yeah, I remember we saw a picture of this. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
gonna be so bad for her. Oh my gosh.
I know. So Ryan had commented on why he hired an attorney, and he said, I hired Jeff Neary. I probably said that wrong, which is the same amazing attorney that represented Jim Bellino in his victorious slander and defamation lawsuit against Tamra years ago. She was served yesterday. So I think they, sent like an email, and then they could just, put it at her house, and not the attorney, but whoever the attorney has working for him did that. So they did that. And that is crazy because, Tamra has been through this before again. So she did issue a public apology on her Instagram story. She was like in New York with her husband, and she said that she basically misspoke. And she's like, I didn't mean to say Ryan stole the money. And she meant to just say that her company made more money than what was stolen from the Dodgers player, which is Ryan's best friend. And then she then apologized and said, just like what Andy said, Ryan is innocent until proven guilty. How kind of cringe was that, Chantal?
I know. It's like don't even go there. Like, what happened last time, and like you're not, and like
Yeah.
he's telling you right now, like, listen, I'm taking this serious. You should too. And it's like, don't even go there. Like, make it sincere, be apologetic. And if you're not sincere, then you're gonna get sued again.
Yeah. So, and just like a backstory on the whole, because you know what, I noticed a lot of people in regards to the Jim Bellino case, they were like, I didn't think Jim Bellino got anything from her. And that's not at all what happened. So, she was famously sued by Alexis Bellino's ex-husband, Jim Bellino, for defamation and attempting to ruin his reputation. So in 2018, Jim filed a lawsuit against Tamra and Shannon, demanding $1 million in damages after they made comments about his business and divorce from Alexis while appearing on the Heather McDonald's Juicy Scoop podcast. So the three women talked about alleged lawsuits filed against Jim's former trampoline park. And then in 2019, the judge dismissed all charges against Shannon and demanded Jim pay Shannon attorney fees. And I think it was like $137,000. And then Tamra had to settle with Jim. And they're saying that it was anywhere from $500,000 to almost $1 million that
Wow.
Tamra actually had to pay out of her pocket. So if I am Tamra and that happened to me, do you think that I am going to go on Watch What Happens Live and say that someone stole when there's nothing saying anywhere else that Ryan has stole? Do you think I'm going to go ahead and be dumb enough to do that?
No, she's literally so impulsive, and it's like she doesn't
Yeah.
care.
And
She doesn't care.
if
She's trying to call out she's like waiting, like calling. She wants to see how far she can take it before they take it serious. And she probably never thought in a million years that Ryan would take it serious and be like, this is what I'm doing to you.
Which I don't know why she didn't. This is like a grown man who's worked his whole life, and you're trying to come for my reputation. And if I don't do anything, you are going to, because here's the thing. When Tamra says something, when you say something on television, it's there. Even if it's not true, what's kind of effed up is I feel like people do forget that you are innocent until proven guilty. So they just go with that narrative and they're like, no, he is shady. No, he did do this. And he clearly even stole from a Dodgers player up to $16 million because you said it on TV. That's a big deal. That's even worse than Tamra going on a podcast and saying it. You said it on TV where hundreds and thousands of people are watching the show. And that is a big deal. So not only did she apologize in an awkward video with Eddie, and poor Eddie, he looks tired, you guys. He looks. She also went on her Instagram story. She said, as I mentioned on my Instagram story yesterday, I would like to apologize for and correct the record on a misstatement I made on Watch What Happens Live on Thursday about Ryan. I have no reason to believe that Ryan has stolen any money. I misspoke in tying Ryan to the actions of my others. I meant to say, again, quote, my company makes more money than what was stolen from the Dodgers player. Unfortunately, I misspoke on live television. While Ryan and I have had ongoing issues, I do apologize to him for the mistake and wish to make clear that my statement was made in error. I sincerely apologize. It sounds like, based on what was on the cease and desist, she's like following that.
Yeah, I agree.
And so she's just like making sure, because she's freaking out, because if she had to pay, let's say at a minimum, $500,000, you know, that, and the crazy thing is, you guys, Ryan hired the attorney that Jim hired. So this is,
He means business.
yeah, this is like a guaranteed thing that you're screwed. So I'm sure when she saw who the attorney was, her heart sank. I'm sure she was freaking out. Okay, so since all of this has happened, a lot of people are coming in, a lot of people are saying things, and it's kind of like the demise of Tamra Judge right now. Is that the word?
And yeah, no, it is. And like, I don't feel bad because you know what? She like she does all these things all the time, year after year. And I'm not saying she has to be fired. Like, you guys, like, there's a difference of like, you know, calling people out and then saying, oh, they should be gone. But it's like, she just needs to own up to her actions and actually apologize.
Yeah. And so Ryan did actually make a statement, and he said, Tamra, you're played out. Your shit, what, I don't even know what this word is old. And we, the fans of the show, have evolved and grown up. Your lying, scheming, self-produced drunkenness, nakedness, trailer trash behavior is circa 10 years ago. It's not cute anymore. In fact, it's gross and we're over it. Just take a look in the mirror, or if self-reflection isn't your thing, then just read the comments on your blogs, Bravo TV, your own podcast, or your own personal social media. It's time. Ooh, Ryan.
I know. And what's crazy is that like now that he did that, like you have people like Vicki, Gretchen, Kelly, all of them are now coming out saying their statements. So it's like, just, that's the proof. It's right there. He's not just saying it and there's no proof to follow it.
And Gretchen, she did chime in and she said, it reminds me so much of what she would do to Slade and I constantly. She would talk mad shit about Slade. And then the second he defended himself or called her out on her BS, she would cry and play victim. It's the same old story, just different characters. I'm so sorry you two are going through this. And that is what she does, because the second that Ryan tried to defend himself, she's like, you're a little bitch. You're the biggest bitch. Like, you're a bitch because you're defending yourself. And I think she's trying to be like, stay out of this stuff. But it's like, you're the one bringing him in it. He doesn't want to be a part of it. So you're the one bringing him in it. You guys are the ones who lied about him the last 2 seasons. So what do you mean that he's a bitch when he tries to defend himself? Again, Chantal and I are so against when all the men are just like too involved and too much. But if you're dragging someone through the mud, if it's a girl, if it's a boy, it doesn't matter. They are allowed to defend themselves, especially when it's lies. And you can't go and try to victimize yourself because they're defending themselves. And honestly, she's like talking all this crap about Ryan as a person. But I know that her son, who's like pushing 40 years old, he went through so much, you know, with the law, like crazy shit, domestic violence with his girlfriend and things of that sort. So it's like, if you have a son like that, I wouldn't be talking about other men like that when I have my son who's really going through shit and who's really done some horrible things.
And we always say, like, she just goes after the guys because she doesn't expect them to say much. And now she's finally meeting people that are going to say something. And like you said, we would be the first ones to be like, no, okay, he needs to stay out of it. He needs to stay out of it. But what he's doing is 100% right.
Yeah. Jen even said, you know, about her apology, she's like, this is the most fake attempt of a retraction of her words. I feel so bad for Eddie. Let's not forget, she also said on national television, quote, Ryan's home was raided by the FBI 6 months ago and Jen is covering for him. Girl, you should have listened to Eddie when he tried to shut you up 5 times that night. Our home was never raided. I'm covering for nobody. Your mouth and alcohol are your biggest problems, and you attack Shannon. What a joke.
Oh my God, the Shannon diss is perfect.
Yeah, I
Because she
know.
makes it seem like she has no issues with alcohol. Alcohol doesn't do anything for her. And it's like, clearly it gets you in trouble.
Yeah, it gives you liquid courage to be an asshole, and it's not working in your favor. And then
Yeah.
Vicki got involved and she goes, guess she didn't learn before with being sued from Jim. She has no storyline unless she's attacking someone. Peeing on your backyard cement was it for me and everyone else. It's gross, classless, and rude. Now, hopefully she learns her lesson on defaming people. Holy hell, Vicki and Tamra will probably never be able to get through this. By the way, we are going to be doing an interview with Vicki and Christian from their podcast. So we're super excited about that. That's going to be really, really good. And
I'm
then
so excited for them.
keep in mind, you guys, tomorrow we have the Lizzie interview. And we did kind of wait to do this Lizzie interview because it gives you a sense of like, Lizzie is the only other person outside of Ryan who went after Tamra. And then it kind of, like she's no longer on the show. Gretchen is no longer on the show. I know I've mentioned that, but it's a really interesting podcast to listen to, especially with everything that's happened, this past weekend.
Yeah, I think it'll open everyone's eyes. I mean, to be honest, like we've been reading everything, and I feel like no one is on Tamara's side right now. I feel like everyone is like time is up with your bullshit, basically.
Yeah. And then Gretchen also said to Vicki's response, clearly she never learns and she just thinks she can say whatever she wants under the guise that she's making a TV show. Even when it's false, she needs to learn the hard way that she can't destroy people's lives with her lies and not be held accountable. And the most ironic part is that the second someone tells the actual truth about her, she cries and says that's so horrible of them to say. She has such a double standard. And then she's like, no, what's horrible is to make up flat out lies about people. She has made up lies about Slade and I for years. She goes on her podcast every week and trashes people and then gets upset when they respond to her lies. What a joke. She needs to take a hard look in the mirror for once.
Preach, Gretchen, preach.
Yeah, no, it really is crazy. And then you guys, Kelly Dodd last night came in and she did a video. She had like just got out of the shower. She had like a towel over her head and she was like, Kelly's so crazy. She's like, I just got off a 3-hour call with Jim Bellino. And I'm like,
oh my gosh.
Bellino is seeing everything that's happening as well. And Kelly's like, Kelly starts bringing up all the things that, Tamra has said about her, about like being like involving drugs and all that. And then she was like, we all need to get together and take Tamra down once and for all, whether it's a lawsuit for defamation. She has said so many things and no one has ever held her accountable. And it's so true. And I know that they are filming the reunion next week. My biggest fear is that, Shannon's going to go into it and not hold her own. And when Tamra starts,
be nice to her.
Yeah. When Tamra starts with the tears or not the tears, just like crying without the tears, Shannon's going to be like, I know you care about me. I know you love me. Because the same thing happened with Heather Dubrow last season. And it was like, Heather had the opportunity. And when Tamra, was like, I love you so much, Heather went and she gave her a hug and forgave her and then went into the season where it's like, we're good. And then we even saw it throughout the season that Tamra talked shit about Heather again. And then Heather goes on Watch What Happens Live. And she's like, Tamra's texting me and she's apologizing for what she said. And it's like, why are you guys taking this so much? I mean, I know it's a show, but why are we accepting this kind of behavior from one person? Like, she doesn't have the power that you guys think she does. She has been fired before.
I think with Heather, it's like they've had such a long friendship that if Tamra does apologize, she's just like, okay, I can forgive you, but I'm not going to forget. I'm going to forgive you and I'm not going to be like rude to you. And I feel like she's going to have that energy at the reunion. She's going to just be nice to her. She's not going to hold her accountable like she didn't really last year either.
Yeah. And so then last night, Jen, Katie, and Gretchen all got together with their men and went on a triple date.
I think you posted and was like, I would love to be a fly on that wall, which like same. Yeah, I'm just literally. They probably like had so much fun just like gossiping and talking.
The one thing is that I know that Tamra has made it clear and she's like, if Gretchen ever comes back on the show, like I will not be on the show. And it's like, at that point, then bye, Tamra, because look what they just did to Shannon when it comes to Alexis. So why would they not bring Gretchen back just because you're not comfortable with it? The reason that she's mad at Gretchen is because when the whole Sydney Facebook thing came out where her daughter made a post about, this is what my mom does. And like, it was like a post calling out her mom. This was Tamra's oldest daughter. Gretchen commented and was like, I'm so proud of you. Like, and she just like made a comment about it. And from there, Tamra said, if Gretchen ever comes on, like I will never, ever be on the show. And it's like, Tamra, you almost died when you left the show. Like the show was everything to you. It was very hard for you. So we know that you would still want to be on the show at the end of the day. So I don't know. I just thought that's interesting that she's tried to say that out loud and publicly as if, Bravo would listen to her. Bravo's going to do what they want to do. They will bring anyone on. They don't care.
And I also think like maybe she like feels like, okay, if she does leave, who cares? Because she has her podcast. But even that too, people are going to start to see who you are and be like, why am I supporting you? Why am I listening to you? Even if you have gossip, even if you have dirt, it's like, you're not a nice person and like, you need to change. And if you're doing this just for the show, then say your apologies to the people that you've hurt.
Yeah. And apparently, again, we don't listen to 2Ts, but we know they are wildly successful.
Yeah.
And someone said, Cousins, 2Ts did a recap episode of OC talking about All About Terry, saying nobody listens to that podcast. It's not really positive for anybody, or not a podcast you go on to bring positive or light. And then there were some TikToks of people defending us over that and stuff. And I just find that, I actually have been, I don't know about you, Chantal, but I don't listen to 2Ts like that. But when I see clips, I kind of agree with Teddy's takes. And I'm like, you know what? She is growing on me. I don't think, how like there was a time where like everyone hated her. She was like literally the most hated housewife. And now Tamra took over it. But like, I don't know, Chantal, have you ever like listened to her takes and things of that sort?
Yeah. And I think both of them sometimes can say, great things because they were in the industry. They know it's nice to listen from that perspective because they actually kind of know. So yeah, sometimes they do say things. I'm like, okay, yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So I just think it's kind of sad because Teddy does have, a successful podcast, and for her to be talking about our podcast for having Ryan on, when we just gave Ryan the platform to tell the truth, and they do the exact same thing, makes no sense. Like it's the hypocrisy for me where it's like, it's okay and it's not negative if someone's able to do that on their podcast, but because it's on our podcast, it's like this negative thing. And by the way, we don't have millions of followers. We don't have, and we lost our huge account and we still do amazing. Like last week we were, 11 on top podcasts. This week right now we're 19 and they're like number 7, which is great, but they also have millions of followers. They have a bunch of shows under them that counts towards their numbers. So I just think it's pretty shitty for her to go and sit there and try to knock our podcast down when their podcast does well. Like, why are you trying to knock our podcast down?
Because it clearly shows that she's threatened, and like that's like what people do when they want people to like ignore us or do things that's like you have to talk down to us.
Yeah, no. I thought that was super messed up of her to do. Because again, they have a great podcast, and it's like if you have a great podcast, you do not need to put down our podcast. And we are doing this, we work 10 times harder. They have guaranteed interviews. They have Bravo promoting the shit out of them. We have to work a million times harder to even get an interview, to even make sure like it's okay, to like all that stuff, So, but I think that goes to show you that we have such a great support. We have such great listeners that, maybe we don't have the millions of followers and all that things, and we still do so well. So, yeah, I don't know.
Shout out to the listeners.
Yeah, I just thought that was like super, super shitty of her to do that. I know that like Erica and them, when they did recap it, the clip, they were like, how dare Jen call Tamra trashy? And it's like, Erica, you've called people like a see you next Tuesday. You've said the worst things possible. And Jen is truly the classiest housewife. So it's like, you guys know how Tamra is and what type of person she is. So let's not even front right now. But I also get, Chantal, if like you were on the show, I can't say, like, I do have to have your back, and like you're my best friend. Like I would have to have your back so I understand it, but then maybe I just wouldn't make comments on it,
I think it's hard for anybody that has been on the show because we're so quick to call them out and show proof that they're hypocrites. And like even us, like I feel like I'm sure if like you listen back to a year and a half ago, we probably are hypocritical of what we said. So it really is such a tough place to be in, and that's why I don't think a lot of the housewives should be talking about the housewives.
Yeah. So it says we did get some questions. We're only going to answer a few because I do have to go to my husband's grandma's house. But okay, so someone said, any word if these ladies will forgive Tamra when she goes on the apology tour? That's my biggest thing, is that Tamra is such a manipulator, and season after season, that's exactly what we've seen, is that she goes on the apology tour and just says like, oh, I really cared about you, and that's why. So yeah, I hope that's not the case, because this is the one time that Tamra is getting the worst backlash possible, that it's finally a time for people to step up and be like, stop doing this. I don't forgive you. I'm not okay. We can see what happens in the future, but no, I'm not going to move forward with you right now.
I agree.
It says, do you think this is actually who Tamra is, or her plan to stay on the show backfired? I do think that Tamra has let the show take over her life. I don't think that Tamra is in a marriage where she's completely satisfied. And I think that she doesn't care who she throws under the bus because she's been able to get away with it. And then she comes back the next season and people are still friends with her.
Yeah. I think that she does play on, like, she has like this role in this character, but then also we see it on her podcast. And again, the podcast is not a show. So it's like a lot of her personality traits are like the same. So I don't know. I just feel like she's just not a nice person.
And we know she's dying from the backlash, right? We absolutely know that she's dying from the backlash. But that's why when I knew that she was dying from the backlash, I expected her to go on Watch What Happens Live and tone it down. And she did just the opposite, that I was like, you know what? I can't even feel bad for you. Because sometimes, like, cancel culture is like intense. And I don't believe in cancel culture or anything, but I'm like, it's hard to feel bad for you when this is what you're doing. Like, it's so hard because you went on Watch What Happens Live, you doubled down, you even said way more intense things. And it's like behind the scenes, we know you are having a hard time. So why would you sit there and double down and, act even more intense? It's just so crazy to me. I mean, she has been quiet now, but obviously that cease and desist shook her to the core because she knows that Ryan will file a lawsuit and that with the same attorney, Ryan will win. And it's like, is it worth it? Is she going to pay up just like how you told Shannon? Just pay up, Shannon. Just pay up.
Oh my God, that like comment like is not running well now, because it's like, and that's another thing too, is the whole Shannon thing. Like, Shannon should be the first person that goes after her so hardcore of how she treated her this season.
Yeah, but I don't know why she wouldn't. It says, do you think Bravo and Andy are protecting Tamra? No, I don't. I think Tamra is, I think a lot of the times we sit there and we're like blaming Bravo and Andy. And I don't think that they're sitting there protecting. I mean, she's making a show. I understand that she's making a show, but at the end of the day, the other ladies could call her out and hold her accountable. And no one really does, to be quite honest. So I'm excited for Jen to go into this reunion. And I'm hoping that Jen does hold her accountable. And I can see though Emily Chantel like keep chiming in, and that'll piss me off if she does that.
Oh, for sure. Emily, you're next. Bye.
I swear. Yeah, Emily and Gina, you guys are so lucky that people have been forgetting that you guys annoy us and we want you off the show. But yeah, they haven't really been that bad this season. Just sometimes Emily's been annoying.
Yeah, I feel like they've tried to like stay like neutral in the sense of like, okay, this situation you were bad in, or this situation you weren't. So, and that's what I like sometimes. It's like, take it by the situation and not by the people.
Yeah. See, another person said, can we confirm, please, if it was a cease and desist? Yes, it was a cease and desist. It was a warning. It said that if you do not retract and if you do not say this, then we will file a lawsuit. And here's what we'll file a lawsuit under. So yes, it was. And she immediately came out and did 2 public apologies. But again, we don't know what else she's going to say. We don't know what else is going to come out there in the next couple of episodes. All we know is that Bravo took out what she said on Watch What Happens Live because they want no part of it.
She should go on the reunion and apologize to Jen's face and say it like this is for Ryan too. And that's what she should do, like on national TV and not just on your social media, because not everyone's on your social media. Half the people that are like watching live don't even have social media.
And then it says, has Tamra tried to contact you during all this? Was she embarrassed by her Watch What Happens Live performance? So here's what happened with Tamra. Obviously, us and Tamra have a weird relationship because from season 1, when Jen came on, it was like Jen is this nice girl who was so shocked by her friend's behavior. And so we always called her out on it. So she got into it with us. And then we made up and like we were fine. And then I saw her like post something about Ryan and Jen when the FBI thing came. And I had DM'd her and I was like, please don't go after Jen. Like, please, like, because if that were me, like, let me be strategic here. I'm not going to go after Jen because I'm seeing how much love Jen's getting. And she's a fan favorite immediately. It's very hard as a first time, as a new housewife to be a fan favorite. So if I know a housewife is a fan favorite, I'm not going to come in so hard for them. So when I saw that, I had DM'd Tamra and I was like, Tamra, please, like, don't come after Jen. Like, I like when you guys get along. And she was so defensive at me. And then we had posted something about Jen responding to Tamra after the news broke out about Ryan. And then Tamra immediately unfollowed us. She then later blocked us on Instagram. So I kind of like felt a little bit relieved because I'm like, all right, then we can say what we really want to say about everything. So no, she has not reached out to us or anything about this, but you know, she has been low key ever since the apologies.
Yeah, definitely. And as she should. If I was her, I would not be talking right now.
Yeah. And it says, do you think the ladies will band together against Tamra at the reunion? Again, that is the most logical thing that they should do. The good news is Gina kind of had, I do feel like maybe Gina's going to come out and have her back. And the one thing that I would want from Heather is for Heather to finally speak out and say, this is shitty. What you do is shitty. It's
She's not, especially because she feels that like right now Tamra is like getting a lot of heat. She won't kick her when she's down. She won't 100%. I know she won't.
Yeah. I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting to see what else happens throughout the week. Our schedule for this week is that tomorrow our Lizzie interview comes out. Please listen to the Lizzie interview. It's really eye-opening. Tuesday, we have an interview with Luann from New York. And then Friday, we'll have the recap of Orange County from that episode in Salt Lake City. So, and then if you're on our Patreon, we do 2 additional episodes over there. So make sure.
Oh, wow. What a busy week, y'all.
Yeah, we have a busy week. We definitely have a busy week. But yeah, I think we just wanted to cover just because so much happened and we only covered the episode on Thursday, on the episode we released Friday. So this is what's going on. Here's the truth of what's happening. And I mean, hopefully it dies down a little bit because at this point, I mean, I feel like Jen and Ryan are like the heroes of Bravo who just took the villain down.
I love it.
Yeah. So we'll see what else happens. Make sure, again, you guys listen to the Lizzie interview. And I hope you guys have a fabulous Sunday and a great rest of the week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.